Welcome to Literacy Home Learning. This is a literacy unit appropriate for children learning from home during this extended school closure. It is designed to provide learning opportunities for primary age children and will help to develop their ability within the national curriculum. This is lesson number 7 in the series. Please listen along, pause the video when necessary, and listen out for the task appropriate for your age and ability. To be prepared for today's lesson, make sure you have something to write with and your home learning book. Follow along with the video and be sure to pause when you've been given a task to complete. You will know when to pause the video when you see the symbol in the bottom corner of the screen. Today's learning objective is to be able to identify and use expanded noun phrases to describe a setting. Time for your first quick task. Today, we will finally listen to the whole story. While listening to the story, can you note down in your home learning book all of the expanded noun phrases you hear? Remember, an expanded noun phrase is a phrase made up of a noun and at least one adjective. For example, lots of yummy, cold ice cream. The adjectives are yummy and cold, and the noun is ice cream. Today's lesson we will finally listen to the entire story of the Tin Forest by Helen and Wayne Anderson. There was once a wide windswept place, near nowhere and close to forgotten, that was filled with all things that no one wanted. Right in the middle was a small house, with small windows, that looked out onto other people's rubbish and bad weather. And every night the old man dreamed. Every day he tried to tidy away the rubbish, sifting and sorting, burning and burying. And every night the old man dreamed. He dreamed he lived in a jungle full of wild forest animals. There were colourful birds, tropical trees, exotic flowers, toucans, tree frogs and tigers. But when he awoke, his world outside was still the same. One day something caught the old man's eye, and an idea planted itself in his head. The idea grew roots and sprouted. Feeding on the rubbish, it grew leaves. It grew branches. It grew bigger and bigger. Under the old man's hand, a forest emerged. A forest made of rubbish. A forest made of tin. It was not the forest of his dreams, but it was a forest just the same. Then one day, across the windswept plain, the wind swept a small bird. The old man spilled crumbs from his sandwich onto the ground. The bird ate the crumbs and perched to sing in the branches of a tin tree. But the next morning, the visitor was gone. All day the old man walked through the silence, and his heart ached with the emptiness. That night, by moonlight, he made a wish. In the morning, the old man woke to the sound of birdsong. The visitor had returned, and with him his mate. The birds dropped seeds from their beaks. Soon green shoots broke through the earth. Time passed. Soon the song of birds mingled with the buzzing of insects and the rustle of leaves. Small creatures appeared, creeping amongst the jungle of trees. Wild animals slipped through the green shadows. There once was a forest, near nowhere and close to forgotten. that was filled with all the things that everyone wanted. And in the middle was a small house and an old man who had toucans, tree frogs, and tigers in his garden. Here are some of the expanded noun phrases we found. Wild windswept place, wild forest animals, colourful birds, exotic flowers. Time for your next quick task. Can you create any expanded noun phrases of your own? Use the story in today's lesson to inspire you. So how can we use these to create a setting description? Linking these expanded noun phrases using prepositional phrases and adverbial phrases can help to create a setting description. Before we look at prepositional phrases, we need to identify what a preposition is. A preposition is a word that indicates place or direction. For example, across, into, between, above, beyond, towards, behind, and over. Prepositions describe the relationship between the subject of a sentence and another object. For example, the apple was under the table, the preposition being under. Look at the words below. Can you identify the prepositions? Remember to make notes in your home learning book, as this will support you later. Now we understand what a preposition is, we can talk about prepositional phrases. A prepositional phrase includes the object that the preposition in a sentence is referring to, and any other words that link to the preposition. For example, he hid beneath the duvet. Beneath the duvet is the prepositional phrase. Beneath is the preposition. A prepositional phrase usually includes a preposition, a noun or pronoun, and may include an adjective. It does not include the verb. Here are some prepositional phrases you may choose to use today. Beside the river, near the trees, in the water, down the path, during the night, between the trees, underneath the waterfall. Time for your next quick task. Look at the picture on the next slide. Can you identify different positions that could be used as prepositional phrases? Here's a little challenge. Can you create prepositional phrases from the picture on the next slide? Here's the picture we would like you to use. Year 1 and 2, here's your main task today. In your home learning book, can you write sentences describing the setting on the next slide? Year 1. Can you write 3 sentences using the expanded noun phrases from earlier and the prepositional phrases below? Upon the tree, around the tree, on the leaves. Year 2. Can you write 5 sentences using the expanded noun phrases from earlier and the prepositional phrases below? Beside the trees, near the old man, between the trees, underneath the bird, and in the air. Year 3 and 4, here's your main task. In your home learning book, create a setting description of the forest at the end of the story. Use the success criteria below to do this. Year 3. Use expanded noun phrases, use prepositional phrases, and use fronted adverbials. Year 4. Use expanded noun phrases, use prepositional phrases, use fronted adverbials, and extend your sentences using conjunctions to add subordinate clauses. Here's an example to help. By the end of the story, the joyful old man has a large furry tiger beside him as the large metal trees tower over him. And Year 5 and 6, here's your main task. In your home learning book, create a setting description of the forest at the end of the story and a setting description for the forest at the beginning of the story. Compare these using comparative conjunctions. Use the success criteria below to do this. We would like you to use expanded noun phrases, use prepositional phrases, use fronted adverbials, extend your sentences using conjunctions to add subordinate clauses, use comparative conjunctions to compare settings, and use figurative language. So how have you done? Time to share your work with the class. Read your work to your home teacher, but don't forget to check for spelling and punctuation mistakes first. Well done everybody, that's the end of lesson 7. Be sure to join us again in our next lesson.